Here's the framework, the emotional connection that we were talking about. There is a tool, my friends, that is called formula of storytelling. And the way to think about it is, as here my new friend, what's your name? Bernardo, thank you, was mentioning, is think of your brand as a movie. A movie where you have a hero, your customer, where that hero has a problem, they need to do something about it and they need our help. And then there's a transformation. And us, our business is out right here, we can help them through that transformation. That's what we do. That's the structure of the story. The hero has a problem, he overcomes it, and it actually, the transformation is led by our own businesses. That's the reason why we have a business, because there's a problem, there's a need, and we can help solve that. And here are the 6 steps. 6 steps is a formula. And you will relate to it as almost like a Hollywood movie. First one is hook. And by the way, there is a code at the end that you can download the whole presentation. I forgot to tell you that. Sorry for that. There's a hook, there's a setup. These are the 6 steps, and let's break them down. How many of you have heard, especially in the music industry, the 5-second rule? You did, right? Yes. Well, basically the music says, if there is not a great hook in the first 5 seconds, that song will not last. It will not get to the top of the billboard. In marketing, it's even worse. If the first word is not meaningful and motivating enough, think of social media. How much time does it take us to scroll down? A fraction of seconds, right? So hook is the most important step of this formula. The second one is the setup. We want to create that kind of environment. What's going to happen while you're here? Why? Because we don't want them to leave. We want them to end the conversation, the story that we want to tell. The third one is, now we present the challenge. What is going on in this situation? And again, the hero is our customer. The fourth one, here's the solution. This is how our businesses are transforming that challenge into a positive outcome. And always remember that's something that sometimes small business owners, we forget to do that. We need to motivate action. If there's a conversation that's left alone there, it's just going to be brand awareness. But we want to close the deal. We want to even take them somewhere else or engage them with, come back and I'll tell you more. The call to action is extremely important for us to consider as we roll out these 6 steps. So let's see this framework in action. Do you know this lady by any chance? Any? These are twins, are celebrities. For the target that knows them, this is a very strange situation for this lady to be in. So that will be an impact already by seeing that on a feed.
I love aging. I think aging is a beautiful thing, but it's nice to disguise a couple things, and that's my grays, because I'll be honest, I have more confidence when you don't see them. It is hard for me to get to the salon every 2 weeks. I am crazy busy, not only with my career, but being a mother. And when we go to the salon, it just takes hours. I just blow dry my hair and run some makeup, and I am blown away. This took me 35 minutes in my bathroom. No more grays. Grays are gone. The color is gorgeous. You're not gonna regret it.
All right, let's break it down. Hook. By the way, there's 2. One is this person specifically, this is about the target, is well known. So if you see her in that condition, you're like, what? It's gonna be like a stopper. And there's 2 hooks in this specific post. One is, it's hard for me to get salon every 2 weeks, right? So if I'm a target, and that's how it's gonna pop up, I would stop and say, cool, that's my problem too. And the second one is, you wouldn't see a celebrity looking like that on an everyday basis. So there's one hook right there. There we go. And let's break down what she said. Setup, right? She talked about it. I'm a busy mom, I don't have time. Of course, her grades are there, and then she doesn't like them really. And she talked specifically about, this is a toolkit that helps me have everything in 20 minutes, has ingredients that I love. And there's a call to action on that specific post that says shop now. And that's how we break down the 6 steps. I would love you as a homework to pick whatever you feel like, choose a brand, do that reverse engineering. I promise you that brands use it all the time, even in pitches. This is exactly a work that can be used not only for communication, it could be used as we introduce ourselves to someone that we're trying to engage in business. It is part as well of the forward pitching. How are we doing? Good? Woo! All right, we're getting almost in the final set of this. I wanted as well to now connect all of the pieces of the puzzle now that we've went through the MVP, kind of those foundational core values of the brand, and then we have the visuals and how the baby is going to be dressed up, and we talked about the framework of how we establish the storytelling. And these are some ideas that can work in every single size of budget. There are types of campaigns, not one campaign fits all. The first one is, if you're a new business, you will most likely want to launch a brand awareness campaign. And that's the one where you would lean in as well into storytelling. It's kind of what Bernardo was mentioning with business owners that are starting and they want to say what they do. It's all about bringing recognition and spreading the word of what we do. That's the awareness type. The second one is the brand building. Now we have customers, and as a relationship, in any relationship, we want them to come back. We want to build a connection and keep that frequency. And so those are types of campaigns that in marketing we call brand building. And the third one is where we bring prospects to the table. There is already people that know us, they have seen us, and when there is an intention, that's where we lean in and we create engagement to close some sort of action from a marketing perspective. It could be sign up here, it could be here's a discount, buy me this item. It's more of an action-driven campaign. Where do we start? 4 questions. This is my framework that I really like. It's really simple and easy to remember, and it works perfectly well in every single situation, no matter the size. First one, what's your goal? What do you want to accomplish? Have you heard of STAR goals by any chance? Yes? Can you help me? You're closer to describe them, please. If you want. If you don't want, that's fine. I can do it. Okay. All right. Anyone else that would like to? Please.
Situation, task, action, result.
10. Right there. Boom. Situation, action, result, and STAR. That's the one I'm missing. I call it STAR, so you can timing. There we go. Situation, timing, action, and result. I call it STAR. I take out the time sometimes. It's a situation, so we're going to see exactly what, there's an example here. There's a specific result, and it has to be something that we can track. One of the examples that I always give is I struggle with weight, and whenever I want to lose weight, if I don't say I want to lose 10 pounds by March something, there's no traction. There's never going to happen. So if you have a specificity behind the goal, number one, it gives you the consistency. Number two, you can measure it then. And you can say, is it good, is it bad? How do I pivot? Second one, who's your target audience? How many of you have heard or have personas? Can you please help me describe personas? Please.
Yes, personas are individual groups or cohorts within an account, if you say account-based marketing, where you would customize your messaging to really engage that particular persona.
Did we hear that? I'm gonna kind of like sit back. Thank you. Let me give you the mic. It are groups of people that have characteristics that are similar, and then we're gonna tackle into a message there to give a campaign. We can also call them archetypes. The reason why this is important is because we want to be efficient and effective with our resources. If we say a word here, like the example that I showed you with the celebrity, if you don't have long hair, or if you don't have hair, or if you have don't have any kind of gray hair, maybe it's not relevant to you, right? And so having the cluster of targets defined is what we call personas. It's basically describing the person that we believe is having that problem, their characteristics, and being able to tap into them. And the reason why it's important is because then we can go and understand where they are and what kind of channels, communication channels they use, so that our dollars are not wasted. So let's see an example. This is a little small, so I'm gonna read it. Let's say that Swan is a travel agency and they're trying to reach a goal of 30 sign-ups in the next month. And they've done a due diligence and they've decided that their segment as, what's your name please? As Matt, thank you, was telling us, is gonna be the solo traveler. Right there they have a specific segment. Now, they know from conversations with these solo travelers that they like to have weekend wanderers. They want to go to certain city breaks, quick breakthrough. They have some information about these people. And they also have some pains that they have. Because these are short travels, they need to have efficient travel planning, and there's some, as well, some security problems where they're at night alone. They want to make sure that they are safe. So here comes the Swan Travel Agency, where the mission is to craft immersive, boutique travel experiences that go beyond the ordinary. There's a lot of wording there, but each one of them, it's important because that will leverage your messaging. Boutique means we're small, we're not for everyone, right? Immersive is not just gonna be your ticket there in an inbox. I'm gonna give you something else. So it's thoughtfully defined as their mission because each one of those words will have actions behind it. And they come with fast plans, solo travel as their campaign. Now, here is one of the secrets that I'm going to share with you. What makes it different? And this is where digital comes in. First thing is talk to people. We're humans, and that's the reason why we put personas with names. Instead of saying the target, if we say Tom likes to wander in Chicago, then we have an association of a person doing something. The second thing, that's the best practice. The second thing is, how do we get data? In a small business, sometimes it's hard because it's very expensive. But there is this platform, which I'm not affiliated, I just love it. It's called SparkToro. And it can give you research information from, it scrapes the internet and gives information. So in this example, let's see that we went to travel solo, right? And there are people who search travel solo, and then it would give us the breakdown of where they are. And so let me walk you through what this means. This specific line, US Affinity, is where us, the Americans, are living into social media. Basically, each one of us, on average, in the United States, use 7 social media platforms per month. So yes, it's everywhere, right? It's almost 10 out of 10 Americans use YouTube and so on. Now, the beauty about this platform is on the upper line, the one that says audience affinity. I don't know if everyone in the back can see it. But basically, he give us where this group of solo travelers lean differently. And what we describe in there in the circles is that, yes, they use everyone, but they mostly use and they lean in more into Instagram versus Facebook. And Reddit, which I wouldn't have thought about it, right? So us as business model owners, this helps us first focus. Secondly, consistency is the key of success. So if we can do all, amazing. If we have to start with 1 or 2, this platform gives us the help of prioritization. Another thing, sometimes we ask ourselves, like, how can I partner? Where's that there? You know, if I want a collaborator with this platform, they also give you that. If we put travel solo, then we can also have handles of influencers that are more related to that specific segment. The way we do about it in the partnership, I am them. We reach out to them, and 99% of businesses today, the way they're the way they're reaching out to ambassadorships and influencers is by using their own services. We know that Solo Travelers Matt is going to be very happy to see that if I'm a travel agency, it will be great to give that person a plan to go and travel. Hi. Oh, thank you. We're almost done. Thank you so much. And so that's another great thing about the platform, right? It can tell us keywords, social media platforms and where to lean in. It can help us as well get information on who to partner with. And they're almost for free. I don't know, it's so So backwards. How are we doing? We're almost done. Alright, so this is really the last part of it. So what we learned is there is a structure of what we call core values. That's, I personally call them MVP, the mission, the values, and the positioning, or basically the differentiator. The second thing that we also talked about was that there is specifically definitions of how we show up as a brand, not only as colors, but as well what we say. And we talked about the 4 questions to game planning, right? What do we want to accomplish? Why us as a business, the MVP? Who is that target? And where are we going to find them? And that's the reason why we're leveraging this tool.